the rope over your finger at the bite. Put your thumb through the bite as well. Spread your thumb and finger out like that. Then bend your hand down. Grab the tail with both thumb and forefinger and then shake it off. That is a lark's head. Now if your rope happens to have knots in the end like this, adding new rope is quite easy. Grab the new rope, make a lark's head with it, reach through the lark's head, grab the old rope, tighten the lark's head on the rope, and the lark's head will just grab those existing knots and you can continue tying. This approach is fast, but it's quite bulky, so let's take a look at some other ways. When you run out of rope, you need to add some more. One of my favorite tricks to use is the lark's head. Take a new piece of rope, make the lark's head, slip the lark's head over the end of the rope, like that. Adjust where you want that connection to be. You can move it wherever you want it to go. And by the way, this trick also works really well if the ends of your rope are uneven like this. You could still use this same trick. Position the lark's head where you want it to be, no more than 2 to 3 inches from the end of the last rope. Now here's the stem of the lark's head. What we're basically going to be doing is bending the prior rope around the stem of the lark's head like that in a U shape. Now this is the stem of the lark's head. What we're basically going to be doing is bending the prior rope around the stem of the lark's head in a U shape. So I'm going to put my finger here and bend it like that to achieve that. Once you have it in that U shape, find the bite of the lark's head and flip the bite to the other side of the node like that. Now, just tighten. What you've done is collapse a lark's head into a square knot like that. If the tails are long, you could wrap them around this old rope to keep them out of the way and keep them controlled. If you find that node is in an inconvenient place, just grab the tails, pop it back into a lark's head. Now just move that lark's head to a spot that'll be more convenient and collapse it back into a square knot like that. Here's another popular way of teaching this. Let's flip the rope around. Now you see how the bottom of the lark's head there looks a little bit like butt cheeks? Well, spread the butt cheeks, bending the original rope around in a U shape like we talked about, and then flipping the lark's head to the other side, like that. Another good way of joining a new rope to an existing rope is to just take the bite of the new rope and put it over top of the rope that was there before, like this. And now all we're going to do is do a half hitch around the new rope using the tail of the old rope. So, run the tail around the new rope, tuck both ends in, and then tighten like that. That technique is called the sheet bend. One special feature of this technique is that you can slip it so that you have an out in your bondage. You'll have a way to quickly release somebody if you need to. Only one simple change. The main difference with this one is that you need a bit more of the tail before you do it. So, we'll adjust our position. We'll take the tail around the new rope and we'll begin pulling it through just like we did before, but this time we're going to leave a little of the tail on this side as we're tightening it. So now we have the same structure. Here's our new rope. The bite of the new rope is over here grabbing on to the old rope, but instead of pulling this all the way through, it's now only a loop through. Now, if you need to release somebody, you need to get this rope loose quickly, you could do so by grabbing that tail and pulling sharply up, and that just releases the rope. Now say we want to add a rope to this stem. You can take a new rope, slip the bite underneath, and then pull the tail through the bite. Like that. That lets you have either 2 strands going one direction, or if you tuck one of those strands underneath and run it between the 2 loops there, like that, you can then have 1 strand going each direction. But what if instead of 1 strand here, you'd like to have 2? If you're planning on putting pressure on a stem like this, you'll want to take a moment and arrange the cords in the order that you like. For example, I took the 2 outer ones and put them behind the 2 inner ones, which naturally happens anyway at a cow hitch like this. But since I'm about to put another set of ropes to grip this, I'll rearrange it like that. Now, here's a way we can add 2 strands going both directions. Take a new rope, just like we did before, put the bite underneath the stem like that, but then get a second rope, slide the bite of that second rope through the first one, then bring it to the other side of the stem, and then pull the tail of the other one through that bite, like this. Then you can pull those 2 loops away from each other like this, creating the form of a cord square knot around that stem. And now we have 2 strands going one way and 2 strands going the other way, which can look attractive when we're trying to create a harness.